Welcome to the deep dive. So if you're listening, chances are you've, got the basics of English down.
Right. You're fluent. People understand you.
Exactly. But maybe you feel like there's something missing. That kind of invisible barrier stopping you from sounding truly professional, really confident.
Mm-hmm. It's one thing to just communicate, get your point across.
But it's a whole different ballgame to speak with that kind of authority, that nuance, that presence that makes people really listen, makes them take you seriously.
Yeah. Perceive you as genuinely advanced, not just functional.
And that invisible barrier, it's usually not about grammar, is it?
No, not usually at this stage. It's built from habits, small things, really. Detrimental habits in how we speak, how we hold ourselves, that kind of sabotage our message without us even realizing it.
Okay, so that's what we're tackling today. We've gone through some really insightful analysis from J. Forrest English sources.
Yep, and they've pinpointed 10 critical speaking flaws, things that hold a good speaker back from being truly great.
So our mission for this deep dive is simple. Cut through the theory and get straight to the practical stuff. Actionable advice.
We're not just defining the problems. We want to show you how to fix them.
Right. We'll unpack these 10 habits logically. We'll start with verbal traps, the words you might be using.
Yeah, move on to flow, pacing,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And finally, maybe the most powerful part, nonverbal communication. Body language.
The silent stuff that speaks volumes.
Exactly. The goal is for you, the listener, to walk away with things you can use immediately, right now, to instantly boost that professional presence.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's begin with the words themselves, the foundation. Section 1, the verbal vocabulary traps. Habits 1, 2, and 3. These really set the tone.
Okay. They can make you sound like, well, either an eager student or a seasoned pro.
Right. And habit number 1. Oh, this is a big one. I think almost everyone does this sometimes. It's the pitfall of the one-word answer.
Good. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
Exactly. You get asked about something significant, a 2-week vacation, a major conference you attended.
Then the response is just flat. It was fine.
Yeah. And why is that so bad professionally?
Well, it completely undersells the experience, doesn't it? It makes it sound trivial. Plus, it kind of shuts down the conversation. The person asked because they were interested, presumably.
Right. They showed curiosity.
And a one-word answer just throws that back at them. It's like saying, yeah, not worth discussing.
It minimizes your own achievements too, doesn't it? If you worked hard on a project and just say, it went okay.
Exactly. It sounds basic, low effort, like you can't be bothered to elaborate.
Okay, so the source material gives a clear fix, a 2-step process.
Yep. Step 1 is fundamental. Always answer in a complete sentence.
So instead of just good, if someone asks, how was the conference?
You start with, the conference was good, or the conference was productive, or the conference was interesting. Something complete.
Okay, that's already better. But that's just step 1.
Right. Step 2 is where the real professionalism comes in. Expansion.
Expansion, meaning?
You have to provide at least one reason why, or one specific example or detail. Just one.
Ah, I see. So you follow up the complete sentence.
Exactly. This shows you've actually processed the experience,
Yeah.
you recognize its value, and you can articulate that value. It signals engagement.
Okay, let's make that concrete. Give us an example. Bad versus good.
Okay, bad. Someone asks, how was that big client meeting? You say, fine. End of story.
Right. Awkward silence follows.
Professional version. That client meeting was really productive, actually. That's step 1.
Complete sentence.
Then step 2, expansion. Because we managed to resolve that key sticking point about the delivery timeline, and they seemed really happy with the solution.
Ah, okay. Specific detail. Shows the outcome.
Or another example for the
Okay.
conference. Instead of good, try. The conference was surprisingly beneficial.
Wow.
Step 1.
Okay.
Mostly because I connected with 3 potential collaborators in the AI ethics space, and we've already scheduled follow-up calls. Step 2,
Wow. Okay. The difference is huge. It takes maybe 5 more seconds.
if that.
Yeah.
But the impact on how you're perceived, it's massive. It shows substance. It respects the listener's question.
That makes a lot of sense. Give them the substance they're asking for. Okay, moving on. Habit number 2. This one's about credibility, I think.
Definitely. Avoiding weak words,
Right.
especially when making commitments.
Right. The scenario is someone asks if you can get something done. Can you finish this report by Friday?
And the killer phrases, the ones that just erode trust, are things like,
I think so.
yep, or worse, I'll try.
Oof. I'll try. Why is that one so bad? It sounds kind of diligent.
It sounds like you're anticipating failure. It introduces doubt right from the start. When a manager hears "I'll try," they immediately think, okay, what's plan B? Because this person isn't sure they can do it.
So you're basically creating more work or worry for them.
Exactly. You're signaling uncertainty about your own ability. It implies risk. It makes you seem unreliable, even if you fully intend to succeed.
Okay, so if you can do it and you intend to commit, what should you say instead? We need strong substitutes.
The sources give some great, confident alternatives. Simple ones.
Like?
Instead of, I think so, try, yes, I can finish the report by Friday. Clear, direct.
Okay.
Or even stronger, conveying more certainty. I know I can finish the report by Friday.
That feels quite assertive.
It can be, in the right context. Or if you need to reassure someone who might be stressed about the deadline, I promise I'll finish the report by Friday.
Okay, promise adds a layer of personal assurance.
Right. But perhaps the most professional, team-focused one is, you can count on me to finish the report by Friday.
You can count on me. I like that. Why is that one so effective?
Because it directly addresses the other person's potential concern. It shifts the focus from your effort, I'll try, to their need, you can count on me. It resolves their worry.
It's about taking ownership and providing reassurance.
Precisely. The difference in phrasing is small, but the psychological impact on the listener, your manager, your colleague, your client is huge. It builds trust.
Okay, powerful stuff from I'll try to count on me.
No.
Got it. Now, habit number 3 feels connected to the first one.
It really is. It's about upgrading basic vocabulary.
We're talking about those default words again. Good, okay, fine.
And also things like bad or even interesting, used too vaguely. These very beginner-level, all-purpose words.
Why is relying on them a problem if people understand what you mean?
Because it makes you sound, well, basic, less articulate, less polished. If every positive outcome is just good and every negative one is just bad, it suggests you don't have the vocabulary to describe nuances or specifics.
So it implies a lack of maybe analytical depth.
Exactly. Professionals use precise language. They can differentiate. Was the meeting good or was it productive, insightful, collaborative, decisive?
Okay. Those words carry much more specific meaning.
Right. Was the outcome bad or was it disappointing, ineffective, counterproductive, detrimental?
Using detrimental instead of bad signals a much higher level of analysis.
Instantly. It shows you're thinking about the impact, not just giving a simple judgment.
And how does this link back to habit 1, the one-word answers?
Well, often those one-word answers are these basic vocabulary words, aren't they?
Yeah.
How was it? Good.
True.
So if you consciously work on upgrading your vocabulary, finding stronger, more specific synonyms for these basic words.
You're naturally less likely to just fall back on the one-word reply.
Exactly. You're already thinking, okay, it wasn't just good, it was beneficial because. And that naturally leads you to expand your answer. The habits reinforce each other.
Makes sense. Improve the words, improve the structure.
Right.
Okay, so we've dealt with the words themselves, but how you deliver those words is just as crucial.
Absolutely. You can have the best vocabulary, but if the delivery's off, it falls flat.
Which brings us to section 2, the flow and hesitation hurdles. Habits 4 and 5.
Right. Let's start with habit 4, speaking too quickly.
This is a really common one, especially, I find, for non-native speakers who might be nervous, or sometimes even native speakers who are just naturally fast talkers.
Yeah, and there's this weird misconception out there, isn't there, that speaking fast equals fluency or intelligence.
Right, like you're trying to prove how well you know the language.
But the expert view, based on the sources, is actually the opposite. More often than not, people trying to sound advanced actually speak too quickly.
And what's the downside of that?
The listener just can't keep up. It's hard to follow. Your words get jumbled. The message gets lost.
They're focusing more on trying to catch the words than understanding the meaning.
Exactly. It's like trying to read text that's scrolling past way too fast. It's exhausting for the listener, and you lose impact.
So the fix seems obvious. Slow down. But how do you do that without sounding hesitant or unnatural, like you're artificially dragging it out?
That's a great question. It's not about speaking unnaturally slowly. It's about conscious pacing and strategic pauses.
Strategic pauses. Okay.
The sources emphasize taking a breath.
Literally.
Pausing allows you to breathe, group your thoughts, and it gives the listener a moment to absorb what you just said.
So a pause isn't necessarily a sign of forgetting your words.
Not if it's done right. A confident pause signals thoughtfulness, deliberation. It adds weight to your words.
Okay, give me an example. If I'm presenting data.
Say you've just revealed a key finding. Our market share increased by 15% last quarter.
Okay.
Instead of rushing immediately to the next point, you pause.
Yeah.
Just for a second or two.
Yeah.
Let that number sink in, then continue. This was primarily driven by...
I see. The pause emphasizes the importance of the previous statement.
Exactly. It acts like punctuation in written text. It structures the information for the listener. Rushing obliterates that structure.
So conscious pacing, breathing, and using silence strategically.
That's the core of it. Control your speed. Don't let it control you.
Okay. Now, what often fills the space instead of a strategic pause, that leads us to habit 5, right?
Yep. The dreaded word fillers. Well, like basically, sort of.
Right. Those little verbal tics that creep in when our brain is searching for the next word or idea.
Exactly. They're placeholders. Verbal static.
And while maybe okay in super casual chat with friends.
In a professional setting, like a meeting, a presentation, an interview, they can be really damaging.
Oh, why? What do they signal?
They signal hesitation, uncertainty, maybe even a lack of preparation. It makes you sound less confident, less articulate.
Even if the content of what you're saying is actually strong?
Yes. The fillers distract from the message. Let's try that pitch example from the source.
Okay.
Imagine someone saying, well, the project's, going pretty good. Well, we just need to get the sort of the final approvals.
Ouch. Yeah, that doesn't inspire confidence. The wells and ums and likes completely undercut the pretty good.
Totally. The listener focuses on the hesitation, not the positive message. It sounds like you're unsure about your own project.
So the fix here is related to the pausing fix, isn't it?
It is. It's about becoming aware of your fillers, first of all. Maybe even record yourself.
Whoa, that's a good, if slightly painful idea.
Yeah, but effective. And then consciously replace the filler word.
With silence, a brief pause.
Exactly. Use that silence to gather your thought instead of uttering, it takes practice, but it makes a massive difference in perceived confidence and professionalism.
Control the pace, use pauses, eliminate the static. Got it.
When your speech flows cleanly, without those distractions, people trust what you're saying more. They focus on your message.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, interestingly, a lot of this flow and confidence isn't just verbal, is it? It's deeply connected to how we present ourselves physically.
Absolutely. Which leads us perfectly into the nonverbal side of things.
Section 3, mastering nonverbal power. Let's start with habit 6, strategic eye contact.
Hugely important, particularly as the source notes, in North American business culture. Eye contact signals trust, engagement, honesty.
Right. Avoiding eye contact can make you seem evasive or uninterested.
But you also don't want to stare someone down intensely, right? That's just uncomfortable.
Definitely creepy. So what's the balance? Is there a rule of thumb?
The source gives a really practical guideline, the 50% rule.
50%, meaning?
Aim to maintain eye contact for at least half the time you're speaking or listening in a one-on-one or small group situation.
Okay, 50%. That feels achievable. It's not constant.
Exactly. It shows you're connected, but it's not overwhelming.
So what do you do the other 50% of the time? Where is it okay to look?
It's perfectly natural to break eye contact briefly. You might glance down at your notes for a second.
Okay.
Or look up or slightly away for a moment when you're genuinely thinking, accessing information.
The key is briefly and naturally.
Precisely. What you don't want is to be constantly looking down the floor or darting your eyes all over the place. That signals nervousness or disengagement.
So control breaks are fine, but consistent avoidance is the problem.
Right. Aim for that 50% connection. It says, I'm present, I'm confident, and I'm talking to you.
Okay. Now, moving from the eyes to the whole body. Habit number 9 in the source material. This feels really fundamental. Powerful body language and posture.
Oh, absolutely fundamental. Because poor posture is often the physical manifestation of low confidence, even if you don't feel it consciously.
What does poor posture look like in this context?
Slouching, obviously. Shoulders slumped forward, letting your upper body kind of collapse inwards.
Making yourself look smaller.
Exactly. Or sometimes people cover their body, crossing arms tightly, holding notes right up against their chest. It's a defensive, closed-off posture.
And it makes you look tired or uncertain or just not present.
Right, regardless of the words coming out of your mouth. So the fix involves actively managing your physical space. The source talks about the communication box.
The communication box. I like that concept. Explain that.
Okay, imagine a box around your upper body. It extends out roughly to the width of your shoulders and from about your waist to the top of your head.
Okay, got it.
Your goal is to occupy that box confidently. How? By bringing your shoulders back slightly Not ramrod straight, but open.
Lifting the chest a little.
Yeah, keeping your sternum slightly lifted, standing or sitting upright, tall within that imaginary box.
So it's about taking up your natural space, not shrinking.
Exactly. It's an open, grounded, upright posture.
And the benefits are, well, firstly, you just look more confident and professional.
Instantly. But there's a crucial second benefit, which links to other habits. It's physiological.
How so?
When you're slumped or crunched down, your diaphragm is compressed. Your lungs can't fully expand. Your vocal cords don't have the proper support.
So it physically impacts your voice.
Massively. Good posture literally unlocks your ability to project your voice better, to use better intonation, which is habit 7, and to convey enthusiasm, habit 8.
Wow. Okay, so posture isn't just about looking good. It's about enabling better vocal delivery.
What's the physical foundation for sounding confident? If you force your body into a confident posture, your voice often follows.
That's a powerful connection. Okay, so we've got eye contact, we've got posture within our box. What about our hands? Habit 10, effective hand gestures.
Right. Hands can be tricky. The sources highlight 2 extremes to avoid.
Extreme 1.
Complete lack of gestures. Hands totally still, maybe jammed in pockets, or clasped rigidly behind your back.
Why is that bad? It seems controlled.
It often looks stiff, unnatural, even if hostile. And crucially, if your hands are locked down, your upper body tends to get rigid or even slump again, undoing your good posture.
Okay, so no gestures links back to bad posture. What's extreme 2?
The opposite. Excessive gesturing, hands flying everywhere, wailing and flailing about, as the source puts it.
Yeah, the overly animated speaker whose hands are more distracting than helpful.
Exactly. The listener ends up watching the hand movements instead of listening to the words. It looks uncontrolled, maybe nervous energy spilling out.
So neither frozen nor flailing. What's the sweet spot?
Natural, slight, controlled gestures. And here's the key. Keep them within that communication box we just talked about.
Back to the box.
Yep. Gestures should mostly happen in front of your body, between your waist and shoulders, fairly close to you, not big, sweeping movements way out to the sides.
So the gestures support the message, add a bit of emphasis, but stay contained and don't distract.
Precisely. They should look purposeful, not random. Think about how professional news anchors or presenters use their hands. It's generally controlled, close to the body, reinforcing their points.
And it helps maintain that open, confident posture too, I imagine.
It does. Using moderate gestures naturally keeps your upper body more open and engaged than locking your hands down. It all works together.
Eye contact, posture, gestures, all sending that nonverbal message of confidence and control.
Exactly. And now that we've set that physical stage, we can really talk about optimizing the voice itself.
Okay, section 4, vocal delivery and energy. Starting with habit 7. Varying intonation.
Right. Intonation is basically the music of your voice, the natural rise and fall in pitch as you speak.
And why is varying it important?
Because professional speakers use it subconsciously or consciously to keep listeners engaged and to emphasize key points. But there are 2 common pitfalls here as well.
Okay, extreme number 1.
Monotone delivery. Speaking on one flat note with very little variation in pitch.
The really boring speaker.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
sounds disengaged, uninterested, like you don't care about your own topic. And it's incredibly hard for the listener to stay focused. Their mind just drifts.
Okay, so monotone is out. What's the other extreme to avoid?
Intonation that's all over the place.
Yeah.
Jumping too high, then too low, really erratically.
Like a vocal roller coaster.
Kind of, yeah. It sounds unprofessional, maybe a bit uncontrolled, even slightly hysterical, depending on the context. It doesn't convey calm authority.
So how do we find the right balance? The source mentions practicing vocal exercises, but that feels a bit vague. Can we be more specific about how pitch should vary professionally?
We can. Think about purpose. Generally in English, pitch tends to rise slightly for questions. It also rises slightly when you're listing items, like we need plan A, plan B, and plan C. The pitch goes up on A and B.
And then falls on C, the final item.
Exactly. Pitch tends to fall at the end of declarative statements, especially when you want to convey certainty or finality.
Like our earlier example. You can count on me to finish the report. The pitch drops on report.
Right. That falling tone signals closure and confidence. Rising tones often signal continuation or questioning.
What about introducing ideas?
Often, you might lift the pitch slightly to signal enthusiasm or introduce something new, like we have a really exciting opportunity. and then maybe fall back slightly as you state the core fact.
So it's about using that rise and fall purposefully to guide the listener's attention and convey meaning beyond the words themselves.
Precisely. It adds dynamism, keeps things interesting, and makes you sound engaged and confident. Not flat, not erratic, but controlled and varied.
Okay. And that variation, that vocal energy, links directly to the next habit, doesn't it? Habit 8, projecting enthusiasm.
Absolutely. This is all about matching your vocal energy to your message, especially when the message is positive or important.
What's the common mistake here?
The classic scenario is having genuinely good news, a project succeeded, results are great, a target was met.
But delivering that news with zero enthusiasm, flat voice, low energy.
Right, and the immediate impact is that your message gets completely undermined.
How so?
Well, a lack of enthusiasm usually translates to two things vocally: lower volume and flattened intonation. Basically, you sound bored, tired, or just plain uninterested.
Even though the news itself is positive.
Yes, and the listener picks up on that disconnect. If you announce we hit our quarterly target, like you're reading a phone book.
The team doesn't feel the excitement or the achievement. They might even think, well, clearly management doesn't really care.
Exactly. You're signaling that the success isn't actually that significant, or maybe it wasn't worth the effort. You kill the positive vibe.
So the fix involves a conscious effort.
Yes. You need to think about injecting enthusiasm into your voice when the message calls for it. But, and here's the crucial link back in, you often can't do that effectively without the right physical foundation.
Back to posture again.
Back to posture. Remember how slouching compresses your diaphragm?
Yeah, restricts airflow.
Well, it's incredibly hard to project vocal energy, vary your pitch upwards for excitement, or increase your volume naturally if you're physically constricted.
So trying to sound enthusiastic while slumped over is basically fighting your own body.
Pretty much. Being upright, occupying that communication box, gives your voice the physical support it needs to convey that energy effortlessly.
So enthusiasm isn't just about trying to sound excited. It's enabled by good posture.
It really is. The posture allows for the breath support, which allows for the volume and pitch variation that we perceive as enthusiasm or conviction.
Yeah.
It makes the delivery match the message.
That connection is so important. Posture enables vocal power.
It's a unified system. Body language and vocal delivery work together to create that overall impression of confidence and professionalism.
Okay, so we've covered the 10 habits in detail, from word choice to body language to vocal energy. We know what to fix and why. But the big question is, how do people practice this stuff consistently? It's not easy to change ingrained habits, especially under pressure.
No, it's not. And that leads us perfectly into the resources mentioned in the source material for actually implementing these changes.
Right. The J. Forrest English sources we looked at specifically highlighted one platform as a tool for this kind of practice. We should probably lay out what the source said about it, neutrally, of course.
Yes, absolutely. The platform mentioned was LiveXP. The source presented it as a way to get that crucial one-on-one practice needed to turn knowledge of these habits into, well, actual skills.
Okay, so what is it according to the source?
It's described as an online platform providing private, one-on-one language lessons. You can access it through an app or on your desktop. The focus seems to be very much on improving conversational skills for people who are already past the beginner stage.
And who provides the lessons?
The key feature highlighted was access to professional teachers and also native English speakers, specifically mentioning people from the US, Canada, the UK, places like that.
And what do they help with specifically?
The source said they work with users on exactly the kinds of things we've been discussing: nuanced conversational skills, definitely vocabulary expansion hitting habit 3,
Okay.
grammar refinement where needed, but also the mechanics, pronunciation, accent reduction, and importantly, intonation, which connects directly to habit 7.
Right, so tailored practice on these specific areas. What else stood out in the description?
Something quite interesting was the ability to filter tutors based on shared interests.
Interests, like hobbies.
Yeah, exactly. The source gave examples like finding a tutor who's also into yoga or plays guitar or is a photographer or maybe even has a background in your professional field like finance.
Why is that helpful? Seems a bit tangential.
Well, think about practicing habit 3, upgrading vocabulary. If you want to work on business English,
You could find a tutor with a business background and just chat about industry topics.
Exactly. It makes the practice feel less like a formal lesson and more like a natural conversation about something you're actually interested in. It takes the pressure off and makes learning vocabulary more organic and maybe more fun.
Okay, I can see how that would work. Makes it less like learning and more like using.
Right. And another key feature mentioned was setting specific goals for each lesson.
How does that work?
You could apparently tell your tutor, okay, today I really want to focus on eliminating filler words. Habit 5.
So you could ask them to stop you every time you say, or like.
Precisely. That kind of targeted, immediate feedback is really hard to get anywhere else. It helps you build awareness and break the habit in a safe environment. Same for practicing stronger commitment language instead of weak words. Habit 2.
That focused practice sounds valuable. What about logistics for busy people?
The source emphasized flexibility. Tutors are apparently available pretty much anytime, 204/7, fitting around work schedules.
That removes a major barrier for professionals.
And one other useful detail. Tutors save notes from the lessons directly in the platform.
So you can review later.
Yeah, you could look back and see, here are the specific instances where I used a one-word answer, habit 1, or these are the stronger vocabulary words we practiced instead of good. Gets the learning concrete and trackable.
Okay, so it sounds like the source presented it as a dedicated space to actively practice and get feedback on these specific professional communication habits.
That was the gist. A way to bridge the gap between knowing the theory and actually implementing it consistently.
And did the source mention any specific offers?
It did. It mentioned a trial class being available for 99 cents for people to test it out.
Okay.
And also a discount code J4 English 30, giving 30% off a membership subscription for ongoing practice.
Right. So according to the source material, that's a potential tool for listeners who want to actively work on embedding these 10 habits.
Exactly. A way to get personalized coaching to make these changes stick. #tag outro.
Okay. We have covered a lot of ground in this deep dive. We really shifted the focus, didn't we? Moving beyond just being understood in English
to projecting real professional presence and authority.
We broke down those 10 subtle habits that can undermine you, the things that signal uncertainty or lack of polish.
But more importantly, we talked about the specific actionable fixes for each one. Things you can actually do.
And if there's one thread connecting almost all of these fixes, especially the later ones, it's that incredible link between the nonverbal and the verbal.
Absolutely. That feedback loop between your posture, your gestures, and how your voice actually sounds. The intonation, the enthusiasm, it's all one system.
You really can't sound genuinely energetic or project that varied, confident pitch if your body is slumped or closed off.
No way. That crunched down posture we talked about, it physically limits your breathing and therefore limits your voice. It's a direct cause and effect.
So appearing small or uncertain often starts as a physical habit, a posture problem.
It really does. And the fix can sometimes be just a small physical adjustment. Which leads us to a final thought for you, the listener.
Considering how easily we all fall into that crunch, leaning over desks, hunching over phones, just thinking hard.
And knowing now how directly that impacts your vocal power and perceived confidence.
Here's the provocative question. What's the one tiny physical adjustment you can make right now wherever you are? Forget the vocabulary, forget the fillers for just this second.
Just focus on your posture, that communication box.
Can you feel your shoulders? Just draw them back slightly. Lift your chest just a tiny bit. Sit or stand a little taller.
Try taking a breath now. Feel the difference. Feel how much more space there is.
That simple physical act of claiming your space, opening your posture, that's often the first instant step to unlocking that vocal confidence. It's where true presence begins.
So until next time, keep that posture upright, keep those gestures controlled, and keep refining that vocabulary.
And stay curious.